Hello everyone and welcome to gearing a brand new level 60. This is our gearing guide for gearing a brand new level 60. And we have a brand new level 60 conveniently right here. We have Drodar, our assassin tank, who we just dinged 60. Now the only thing we did with him is we finished the Shadow of Revan storyline. Now you should finish the Shadow of Revan storyline if this is your first level 60, because it will give you it will give you access to Ziost. Okay, to get this quest, a presence on Ziost, you need to finish the storyline, and B, it will give you a set of 178 gear. Now we have a full set here of 178, except the chest, because we didn't do our class quest. If you do your extra class quest, I'll show you it here. Secrets of the Darkest Stars it is for the Inquisitor. You will get a 178 chest as the reward here. Didn't do that. Didn't do it because I couldn't be arsed finishing the story, and we're missing one implant, but it's no big deal. So we should hit level 60 with a full set of 178. Now you can quite easily do the Shadow of Revan story with 178. So if you hit 60 before that, my advice is just finish the story. You don't really need to spend anything on gearing. So the best method is just to go for the 178 and then go to Ziost. Now Ziost will give you the 190 gear. That will give you that. So doing all the story quests on Ziost, I think it gives you, I think it's what, 5 pieces of 190 gear. It gives you a piece for, I think it gives you all of these slots. It gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it gives you all your head, chest, gloves, pants and boots, and the offhand if you finish it as well. So it gives you 6 pieces of 190 gear. It also will give you basic comms as well. Where's my thing? And it will give you these Ziost memory holographs for each quest that you do, and you should do all the side quests on Ziost as well, because you will get even more of these Ziost memory holographs. And what you use them for is you use them to buy 190 gear from the vendor. Now we are here on the fleet because we've got 3 vendors here on the fleet. You've got the basic gear vendor, the elite gear vendor, and the ultimate gear vendor. So these correspond to the commendations that we've got. Basic, elite, we've got no ultimates so far. But we've got nearly 1,000 elite comms. Now the temptation is to not buy the 186 Yavin gear. The reason is that the 190 is generally a lot better. Now we are going to end up buying some 186 gear. Really, that's going to be our goal, is to fill in any gaps that we have with the 190. Now you will get the 190 offhand, which is pretty good. The best things to buy are, depending on your class, depending on your role, implants are not the best idea for your DPS class. For example, because they don't have accuracy in them. Bear in mind your goal as a DPS when you're gearing is to hit 100% melee accuracy, and we'll show it up here, 110% force accuracy. Now I have 101 and 111 because I'm a tank and I have the companion bonus, so you can ignore that extra 1%. But if I drop out of tank stance here and drop into DPS stance, you'll see I just have 91% accuracy. But then again, as a DPS, we really want to be 100%. If you're doing raiding, particularly if you're going to raid, if you don't have 100% accuracy, I wouldn't bother raiding. Now to get 100% accuracy, we'll call it 100 melee. To get capped, should we say, to get capped for accuracy, it's generally 6 pieces plus an augment. That is how you hit the accuracy cap with the companion bonus. Now the companion bonus is your melee tank companion. Let's see if I can find it. Imperial classes. I think I got it on the Republic actually. It doesn't matter, any character in your legacy, so I got it on Kaizen. So we get grants a bonus to your accuracy, yeah, 1%. So in the case of the Inquisitor, it would be, we haven't capped any of these affection, so, but it would be Chem Val. So whoever your melee tank is, regardless of your class, you only have to do it once per legacy. So I got Kaizen to the cap. What's it called? What is it called? The affection cap. So you want to cap out your affection with them, with your melee tank. The Inquisitor, it's Chem Val. Can't remember who it is. I think it's basically your. I think no, it's not your strength user because that's it's Chem for the Inquisitor, Kaizen for the Consular. I think it's the Wookiee for the Smuggler. I don't know who it is for the Trooper, to be honest. I don't remember the Trooper. I haven't done it. I haven't even finished the Trooper story, so I don't know if I've got all the companions. It is Lord Scourge for the Jedi Knight. It's the I think it's Scorpio on the Imperial Agent, because I think Kaleo is your ranged tank, is classed as. Grants bonus to max health. Yeah, that's Kaleo there. That's max health. Max health is your ranged tank, and critical chance. Grants bonus. Yeah, it's Scorpio. I think it is. Spoilers if you haven't done the story. For the Bounty Hunter, it is Blitz. I guess it's Blitz for your accuracy. It is the Tals on the Sith Warrior, and on the Inquisitor, of course, we already said it was Chem Val. So your first companion on the Inquisitor, and the Consular that you get. But I recommend doing that because it's 7 pieces of gear plus an augment to hit capped accuracy. So that's the most important stat to cap if you're a DPS. The differences between gear that you can get, this is for gearing for operations. So if you want to start operations, you want to get as much 190 as you can. That's my advice. Just get as much 190, get your accuracy to cap. Even if it means pulling out mods and swapping enhancements out. Bear in mind that
to upgrade your
if we take a look at the, what is it, Fourth Lord, it is Fourth Lord, the chest piece, generally power accuracy. You tend to buy a lot of these because you want that power and that accuracy. Now the implants that you get from Ziost are crit accuracy. If you don't want crit and you want accuracy, my advice to you for implants is to buy the 186 ones from the GTN. Bit better stat wise than these, because these just have power and surge in them, but it's kind of pointless power and surge if you have so little power you get in the commendation ones. If you look at the set bonus stuff, which again we're not going to cover in this video, but yeah, you want to get capped accuracy. Tends to be power accuracy. You usually get the chest, the head, and the pants tend to have accuracy in them, and both implants, and then I always put it in my main hand as well. Get the accuracy mods. So if you're struggling as well for the main hand, what you're going to do, the best way to get a main hand is to go and buy a 186 barrel or hilt from the GTN. They're not that expensive. We'll go and we'll take a look at them. Right now we'll head over to the GTN. They're usually fairly cheap, to be honest. I think they shouldn't cost you too much. I mean, bear in mind I've hit 60 and I've finished the Shadow of Revan story, and I've got nearly 1.6 million credits, and I haven't really done anything that special. I haven't really been stacking credits. I mean, I gave him 100k when he was level 1. Help if the GTN would come up. There we go. So we won item modification, we want a hilt because we're a shadow, we want it to be artifact, we want it to be level 58, and the stats we want are willpower. We don't want the 37 hilts. Oh, it's 100k for a resolve hilt. Force wielder hilt's 100k. It's quite expensive. If you look at the barrel, cunning barrel, they're fairly cheap. 28k for the if you're an agent or a smuggler, you're in luck. If you're an inquisitor, then you're pretty screwed. Quite annoying, but you should have 100k. I mean, you really should have. Try a strength one if I can ever find. Ah, there it is up the top. Strength one, yeah, 75k for the Guardian hilts. They're cheaper than the other ones. You could buy a 37 hilt if you have a lot of credits, buy a 192 one, but not necessary. Not necessary. If you're just starting out in ops, bear in mind if you clear Temple of Sacrifice, Revan will drop a main hand as well. So if you're a tank, you get yourself a nice Guardian hilt. If you're a DPS, it's going to cost you close to 100k. So yeah, if you're a smuggler, you're in luck. 20k. 20k for a hilt. But if you are... Oh god, they really... I guess there's a lot of Inquisitors around, so there must be high demand for it. But yeah, the Force Wielder hilt is actually less. I honestly, I'd rather have the Resolve hilt than the Force Wielder hilt as a tank, to be honest. Just because generally they're cheaper. I'm not going to bother buying one because I'm just going to get a 192 one. I've already got one from my other assassin DPS, and I'm just going to put that one in. Help you get threat, and it's only endurance that we're dropping, which is not hugely important as a tank. We don't want to be stacking insane amounts of endurance unless we're pugging Eternity Vault or something, you know, or pugging a flashpoint and we need 500 million k HP, because that's all pugs look at. So we'll talk about the difference between this gear. I mean, look at the Massassi gear, which we're going to take a look at the headpiece, and we'll show you the difference between the 190 and the 192. You can see here we look at the tertiary stats. As a tank, we are looking at Absorb. That's what we're looking at as an assassin tank. Absorb is our main thing that we look at. So 93 Absorb, very, very low. Okay, if we look at the tertiary stat on the 178 gear, it's 113 defense, which is actually pretty good compared to the 192 gear. I mean, obviously you're going to get more damage reduction from this because the armoring is going to be of a higher level. So bear that in mind when you're gearing up as a tank or as a DPS. Bear in mind as DPS you do get more accuracy from the commendation gear than you do from the 190 Ziost gear, we'll call it. So you do get Citadel, I think it's what it's actually called. So you do get more accuracy. So you'll get, I'll show you it here, you get 111 accuracy as opposed to, I think it's, you get 108, I think it's from the
I've got the best hardware and the best
186, should we say? Yeah, 102, and you get 111. So for hitting your accuracy cap, getting the commendation gear is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. The commendation enhancement is a good idea, but getting the 190 mod, because it has more power in it, or more power and more crit as well. That's the main difference between these gear sets. We want this up. So yeah, we get 108. 108 is the 190. 102, it will be 108 accuracy, that's surge, but the tertiary stats are all the same. Look at the difference in the power though from the 190. It's like 96 power from the 192 versus 118 power from a 190. That's why we talk about the 190 gear being better, because again, power is more, well, it is more powerful than your main stat slightly, and it is going to be better for you kind of in the sort of long term. The endurance we don't really care about. The main stat is a bit less, but again, it's that power that gives us our damage, and we get more crit as well. And again, here we get, you can see here we get 108 shield and 110 defense versus this thing here, which the tertiary stat is 93 defense. So we're getting more of our kind of tertiary tank stat, and that of course translates to absorb, because it is the tertiary tank stat. So we're getting, what is it, 110 absorb as opposed to 93 absorb for every piece of gear that we get from the Ziost, as opposed to the Massassi Mark 1 gear. So just bear that in mind when we're looking at these stats for a tank. Actually, this gear is not bad. It's actually got quite a nice enhancement in it. There's a lot of absorb there. All the absorbs in the mod as well. The enhancements in the mods are not bad actually. They're not too bad. We're getting a lot of absorb out of that. So again, that's the thing we've got to balance when we're gearing with the tertiary stats. But the main priority as a DPS is to hit the accuracy cap. Okay, don't even think about raiding. Don't even think about going into a raid without hitting your accuracy cap, because you're gonna suffer. It's the biggest loss of damage is missing. Okay, getting a resist. When we get into raiding, we can start optimizing our gear, and optimized gear comes from the operations gear vendor. The resurrected, again, look at the difference here. Again, we get 156 power or crit. 156 power versus 96 from the vendor. We get the same amount of tertiary stat, and we also get the set bonus, which is key. So you can see the difference here, and again we'll scroll down and find the survivor one. Again you can see 156 defense per piece, 156 absorb per piece, and the set bonus. This is the gear we want to be in. You get a lot less endurance, but we don't care about the endurance. We want the absorb and we want the shield again. So that's the major thing, and that's why we talk about optimized gear. We talk about the operations gear vendor, but you should always be swapping out like for like gear pieces. Like if you have a 192 headpiece and you get the chance of a unassembled resurrected headpiece, you should generally always be taking the unassembled one. At least take the armoring. If you don't like the enhancements, you can put the enhancements and the mods in any gear piece that you want, but the armoring must go in the headpiece at end game. So you definitely want the armoring, because the armoring will give you the set bonus. It's the set bonus that comes from the armoring. You can put the mods and enhancements in any piece. So say you had absorb in the headpiece and you didn't want to lose that absorb, but your gloves have defense in them, so you would put the armoring in the Masashi Mark 1 armor. You'd take it from the resurrected, put it in the Masashi Mark 1 piece that you got, swap out the armoring for that, and then you're going to swap out the mod and enhancement in the gloves. Just be a better just a better fit for you if that's the case. But that's what we talk about when it comes to optimizing gear. The gear from this guy is a lot better, but again we need to win the role in a raid. We win the unassembled resurrected gear, and if we move on to hard mode, we will get the best in slot is the Revenite. As you can see, 171 defense, 171 absorb, 120 shield. Again, the set bonuses stay the same regardless if you use Revenite or Resurrected. You can use a mixture of the three to get set bonuses, but you see the difference there. And again, you've got your ultimate comm vendor right here, which is the Deceiver, which again is not too bad. I mean, the Deceiver stuff ain't so bad for the comms, but you tend to find the Resurrected stuff is better.
What can I get for you? Because
again, it gives us that bit more absorb. Unless you really want the extra tertiary stat, like you really want extra surge, for example, then going for the ultimate comm gear vendor. But again, gearing, it's a very pain in the arse process in 3.0. It is a bit of a pain, especially for a DPS. But for a tank, it's not so bad, because at least we're always getting absorbed now. At least we're not getting stupid crap like Alacrity, like we did in 2.0. Alacrity, do you want some Alacrity as a tank? No. No, we want fucking shield, we want fucking absorb, we want defense. Okay, so anyway, that is all for this video. We will do a bit more in-depth look at the assassin tank. We'll take a look at that. I don't know if any changes are coming in 3.3, because if there are, we'll just wait until after 3.3, because 3.3 is coming in a week's time. So we'll take a look at that then. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and this is just a basic gear guide. Just follow the story, basically, is the thing, and you will come out of it with a reasonable amount. And again, fill in the blanks with 186 gear. That's why what we used to tell you before 3.2 was go to the 186 vendor, cap out, get as many basic comms as you want, as you can, and go and cap out your basics, and then buy the 186 gear if it was a fresh level 60. If you have alts, again, you can just send gear to them. Again, I'll probably get him the Deceiver shield from that, because it's got a decent amount of absorb in it, so it'll get him started. But yeah, Ziost, you should end with a full, at least most of a 190 set. Now you should get, the thing that you want these days is the Ziost memory holographs. They're the things that you want when you're looking at getting into raids. But don't raid unless you've capped your accuracy. A good gear level for raiding, it should be 186. Minimum slots here, everything should be, except the relics, I would say 178s are fine. But everything in here should be at least 186. Going through Ziost, you're going to get 190s. And you should have enough basic comms, because you get a lot of basic comms from Ziost. You get 4 per quest. So you should have plenty, and there's no real reason to spend basic comms after level 45 in this game. 45 to 55, don't bother wasting basic comms on gear. What you're going to do is, when you hit 47, you can just go to McKeb and click the bolster button, click the GSI support satellite, and you'll have level 55 stats. When you hit level 55, again, there's no point in buying any gear at level 55, because you can just go straight to Forged Alliances and you'll get a full set of 162 gear, which will be fine for starting Rishi. Okay, if you do Forged Alliances, you get bolstered, so your gear is irrelevant. So there's no real reason to waste basic comms at those levels, unless you really want to do some of the content. So we'll tells you here 186 story mode item rating is the recommended gear for story mode raids. The 2 level 50, level 60 ones, level 55 ones, who cares, to be honest. If you're level 60, it doesn't really matter. You could do it in your 178s if you want, you know, they're fine. But yeah, anyway, so gearing is a pain in the arse. If you want to know what tertiary stats to look for, I suggest, I've done a guides on classes if you're looking at tertiary stats, but the only tertiary stat that you should concern yourself with at the beginning is accuracy. If you're a DPS, get that accuracy to cap. Get 186, a combination of 186, 190 is fine. It's fine for raiding. For hard mode flashpoints, you can get away with a little bit less gear. You can get away with slightly less, but again, there's no reason why you shouldn't have at least full 186, a combination of 186, 190, because the 186 gear is from story quest. The 190 gear, should we say, is from story quests, and you're going to get commendations. Now the commendation cost for Ziost stuff is very, very low, and there's really not a lot of reason why you shouldn't have a lot of comms. And bear in mind, you'll have access to things like the Yavin dailies. Oricon, you should go to at level 60. Don't go to Oricon at level 55. I'll tell you that right now. Don't go there. It's quite difficult in terms of content. Oricon is a waste of time at 55, to be honest with you, because you get 156 gear for doing Oricon story, whereas Forged Alliances you get 162 gear, and it's easy because you got the Jesus droid to do the fight for you if you want. You can go AFK. So anyway, that is all for this video, so thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.